Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome right back to the channel again. Um, welcome back. Um, a lot of wild stuff happened in college football for sure. A lot of wild stuff happened. Rankings came out. A lot of different things happened. But before we get into all that, again, my name is Isaiah Austin, and welcome back to the YouTube channel IDA Kings Video Production Channel. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Okay. If you like the videos, like all the videos. Post them and share them. Okay. Everything else like that. And hit that bell notification for when, so you can know when I post and upload new videos and everything of that nature. Okay. Saturday started off real good. Ohio State ended up beating UCLA 48-10. Showed up and showed out. Indiana also blew out Wisconsin. The two best teams in the country ended up doing a lot of amazing things in that game. Dominated from start to finish. Defensively, offensively, it was just amazing. South Carolina was really almost on upset. Like, this was one of the biggest, almost borderline, almost the biggest upset in the SEC. It was going to go down as one of the upsets in the SEC. South Carolina has been going through it, having some up and down, a rough season, shockingly. They were up 30-3, if I'm not mistaken. I believe at halftime. And then after halftime, Texas A&M scored, they scored like 28 unanswered points or something like that. If I'm not mistaken, man, it was a dominant performance in that second half from Texas A&M. They showed why they were a top 3 team in the country, but in that first half, they showed they have some work to do. They definitely do. They have some big work to do. But overall, Reed came out and just dominated at the quarterback position. Made all type of throws, all type of stuff. The defense started shutting down South Carolina, shouting down Sellers at quarterback. And that was a magical game. I ain't gonna lie. That was a fun game to watch. That was an entertaining game to watch. I loved it. Seeing everything about it, it was great. Another game that was really fun, really fun, that ended up being an upset. Oklahoma, who's ranked 11, who's not a bad team. They're a real good team. Ended up beating Alabama, who's ranked 4 at the time. Great job. Great win by Oklahoma. Defensively, they did a lot of great stuff. They put Ty Sampson in tough situations. I haven't seen him in a tough, bad situation the way he was in. The last time I seen that was when he played Florida State. But overall, Ty Simpson. I'm sorry if I butchered the last name. I apologize. But he's a great quarterback, though. So they'll bounce back. He'll bounce back for sure. But Oklahoma, it's a great team. John Mateer was great, running and passing that ball at a high level. Did a lot of great stuff. Georgia ended up blowing out Texas, pulled away late. It was close at first, but then they pulled away late, especially in that fourth quarter, 35-10. Okay, that was a heck of a game at first until that fourth quarter. The Texas was trying to hang in there as best as they could. Florida ended up being a real competitive game with Ole Miss, but Ole Miss ended up pulling away in that fourth as well. It was tied. I think the fourth they pulled away. Notre Dame ended up blowing out the number 22 ranked Pittsburgh team, blew them out 37-15. Notre Dame is a tough team to play, a dominant team to play. Boston College was hanging in there, was really doing some great stuff against Georgia Tech. But Georgia Tech ended up getting big time touchdowns after big time touchdowns in that game. Haynes King should be in that Heisman conversation, in that Heisman race. Close game. Georgia Tech ended up winning 36-34. USC was in a close game too with Iowa. Iowa, man, was really competitive last few weeks, competing with some top 20 teams in the country. Oregon, then USC. USC and Oregon play against each other this upcoming Saturday. But Iowa ended up losing the game 26-21. Michigan was real close to getting a loss, and they probably should have lost. Northwestern lost 22-24. It was real tight, real close. Michigan is in trouble, real trouble. They cannot play how they played against Northwestern against Ohio State. They just can't do it. It'll be a bad situation. There were 2 big upsets in the top 25, though. The 25 ranked team and the 24th ranked team went down. Navy, who is a really good team, who's a really good team, who's in that conversation to be one of those group of 5 football programs to represent the college football playoff. They beat South Florida 41-38 in a close battle, real close game. Got a big win, ran the ball well, obviously like they always do. And then Cincinnati, who's ranked 25, who could have and probably still have a chance to make the Big 12 championship, I think, end up losing to Arizona. It was 30-24, lost to Arizona. That was a really close, competitive, tight game. That game was fun to watch. Arizona State ended up beating West Virginia by 2. That was a close win as well. New Mexico ended up beating Colorado State. And North Texas ended up beating UAB. Needed that win for them. Really bad, needed it. This was a big story. Penn State got a win under their interim head coach, who went to Penn State, who I think he's from Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. And he loves that program, and they need to really give him a good look when it comes to hiring and stuff like that. And thinking about him actually being the head coach, they really should give him a real fair chance. And I know there's probably going to be other candidates too. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Illinois ended up beating Maryland. I think they're ranked now in these top 25 rankings as well. Beat them 24-6. And then James Madison got a big win against App State, so they could stay in the hunt for the playoff, as well as a group of 5. Tulane ended up beating FAU. And if I'm not mistaken, spoiler, I believe if I'm not mistaken, Tulane is in that in the playoff as a group of 5 team. Not as an at-large bid, but as a group of 5 who will represent so far. And East Carolina beat Memphis 31-27. They're basically knocking Memphis out of the top 25 or the group of 5 and stuff like that. UNLV got a big win against Utah State in double overtime. And big wins, big stuff. San Diego State ended up upsetting Boise State, and Fresno State ended up beating Wyoming. Okay, that happened on week 12 on Saturday. That was some great Saturday games overall. Dominance, great plays, great performances, great big-time matchups, things of that nature. Week 13 started off real good too. Started off real good. Akron was in a real close game with Bowling Green on Tuesday. Really competitive defensive game, low-scoring game. Akron really put in work in that game on that Tuesday. And then also Western Michigan ended up winning 35-19 against Northern Illinois. And then Ohio dominated, ran through UMass. Just masterful class of dominance. Okay, Wednesday, 37-20, Buffalo ended up losing. Okay, Buffalo ended up losing to Miami of Ohio. And then Central Michigan beat Kent State 28-16. Thursday was pretty interesting. Louisiana and Arkansas State were in a high-scoring, tough battle game on that Thursday night. Louisiana ended up winning by 4 points. And that was a really pretty interesting game overall. Now we're going right into it. The rest of week 13, man. Friday and Saturday is about to be some great stuff. You got NC State and Florida State both trying to get to 6 wins. They're both at 5. They're 5-5. It happens on ESPN at 8 p.m. Okay. Another game, that's happening as well. A big one. This is big implications for the group of 5 to try to get one of these teams in. Hawaii, who's 7-3, who's having a real great year, unexpected year, against UNLV, who's having a great year too, under Coach Dan Mullen, first year. And both teams are trying to make the college football playoff. They're both trying to get there with a win. Okay, they're trying to get there. So that's a big, important game for both of those teams. Saturday's about to get real fun, though. I'm telling y'all. It starts with one of the games I believe is going to be great on ABC and the SEC. Is Missouri, who's 7-3, versus Oklahoma, who's 8-2. Okay, if Oklahoma wins the next few games, they're probably most likely making the playoff, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I'm just being completely honest about that. Minnesota and Northwestern, they're tough teams. That's going to be a competitive game. Louisville and SMU are going to be fun, too. Both are 7-3. And I think that's going to be a fun game to watch, fun game to be interested in. Be careful of that game. Another game we got to really watch, too. I think this could be fun, too. Is Kansas, who's 5-5, trying to be bowl eligible, is facing off against Iowa State, at Iowa State, who's 6-4. That's going to be a fun game to watch. James Madison needs a big win against Washington State at 1 p.m. They need that win bad, okay? They need it because that's for, a chance to be in the spot of playoffs. So they need to try to go and win every game as much as they can. I know they have one loss, but they got to try to win. Missouri State and Kennesaw State are both having great years, unexpectedly, man. Great years. They're both 7-3, and they're having fantastic years right now, man. Got to give shout out to those two teams right there. Both really did great, are doing great jobs right now. Great performances by both teams. Okay, another big ranked top 25 matchup. Number 7 Oregon versus number 15 USC. That's how the rankings are right there. Those two are in the top 16. USC is 8-2. Oregon's 9-1. That's going to be great on CBS. Tune in and watch that game. That's going to be a fun matchup for the making right there. Legendary stuff for the making as well. Duke and North Carolina is going to be an interesting one because both teams are trying to be bowl eligible. North Carolina is 4-6, trying to go 5-6, and Duke is trying to go 6-5 instead of go down 5-6 and have to rely on one game to be bowl eligible at that point. That's going to be a tough one. You don't want to put yourself in that situation. Jacksonville State is having a great year too, unexpectedly doing a great job too, 7-3. They're playing FIU, who's 5-5, trying to be bowl eligible. That could be another sneaky good game. This one's big for Tulane right here. This one's real big. Tulane has to win. They're ranked 24 in the top 25 rankings, but they're in that 12th spot as a group of 5 because they would probably be the lowest conference champion. So I think 4 or 5. You got 5 conference champions. The 5 best conference champions, ranked high conference championship champions, will be in the playoff. So you know how to, that's a pretty interesting thing. So Tulane is, I think, the 5th highest ranked, so they would be in that 12th spot. They need this win against Temple. This win against Temple is a big one. They have to get it done. Okay, Utah playing Kansas State. That's a big one too, as well. TCU and Houston. Houston is ranked 23. They're playing against a tough, hard-nosed TCU team, who has a great quarterback at TCU. You already know. That's going to be fun. Another big game on ESPN is going to be Pitt, who's 7-3, who lost to Notre Dame, got blown out. Is playing against Georgia Tech, who's 9-1. This is a big game for both teams, especially for ACC championship aspirations as well. NBC is going to be a tight one in Happy Valley. Penn State versus Nebraska. Nebraska needs this win against Penn State. Penn State needs this win to try to be bowl eligible. That's going to be a big one, a big important game. ABC, they have Tennessee versus Florida. Florida is not bowl eligible. They're trying to ruin a lot of things for Tennessee. They're 7-3. Wisconsin is trying to ruin things also for Illinois, because Wisconsin is 3-7 as well, and Illinois is 7-3. They're not bowl. Wisconsin is not bowl eligible at all. So North Texas is trying to be in the group of 5 as well. They're 9-1. They play Rice, Western Kentucky. You never know. They have they're outside looking in, but they play LSU. If they beat LSU, who's 6-4, in LSU, that could go a long way with the committee, obviously, right? And they're 8-2. Arizona State, who is jumped into the top 25, plays Colorado. They need that win bad to try to get, if they can, to try to get into Big 12 championship conversations. And Colorado's trying to ruin that for them. One of the few last games, these are a few big games too, I ain't gonna lie to you, for a lot of teams. Washington is trying to get into that top 25. They're 7-3. UCLA is trying to ruin that for them. That's a big game for Washington. They need to win that against UCLA. Okay, Fresno State need this to be one of those teams in the group of 5 to make the playoffs. They need this win against Utah State. They're 7-3. Utah State's 5-5. Utah State's trying to be bowl eligible too. They're trying to do it this week. They won't have to do it next week if they do it this week, Saturday. So it's important. Okay, and another one, man, San Diego State need this win too at 10:30 p.m. because they're trying to be, again, in the college football playoff. And San Jose State is trying to ruin that. So these are big wins for these teams. And these are big games. These are fun, important games for these teams, man. I'm pretty excited. A lot of recapping, a lot of things happening. So I'm pretty excited to watch college football this Saturday. You already know it's going to be fun, okay? And I'm really excited about it. All right, y'all have a good one, man. Y'all stay safe out there, all right? It's going to be fun. Again, welcome back to the channel, IDA Kings Video Production Channel. Okay, my name is Isaiah. And please like, comment, and subscribe. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell notification to know when I post and upload a new video. All right? Y'all enjoy. Peace.